Today on Football Daily, we are continuing our journey through the transfer window by looking at 10 deals that don't make any sense. Remember, if you disagree with any of our choices, let us know in the comments. Let's go. 10. Willian to Fulham. Honestly, we thought we'd seen the back of Willian. The Brazilian left Arsenal in 2022 after a single appalling year with the Gunners, in which he produced 6 goals and assists in 25 appearances, all the while earning a reported $200k a week. But that hasn't put off Fulham, who are bringing him back to the Prem after a single campaign in his homeland with Corinthians. This time we imagine he'll be on far more reasonable wages, but it's unclear what the Cottagers think he can add. At the Emirates, the wide man was anything but a leader, putting up fewer shots, key passes, dribbles and pressures than at any point during his Premier League career with Chelsea. And at 34, he hardly seems due a late resurgence, having largely disappointed in Brazil with 4 assists in 16 league starts. Fulham may have just lost Shakhtar loanee Manor Solomon to a long-term injury, but Willian feels like a rushed and desperate replacement. Perhaps Marco Silva can work some magic on him, but Fulham will have to pay a fee for the privilege of finding out, and we're just not that confident. 9. Riqui Puig to LA Galaxy. First and foremost, we want Riqui Puig to be a success at LA Galaxy. The Spaniard never earned a proper chance at Barcelona since bursting out of La Masia in 2018, only ever starting 11 matches in La Liga and finishing last season with just 475 minutes under his belt. Meanwhile, Gavi burst through to earn 48 appearances in all competitions last term, over 3/4 of Puig's entire haul with the club. The saddest part of his stagnation is that Puig has undisputed quality. Although Ronald Koeman criticised him for his lack of effort in training, Puig had gained an unhelpful comparison to Andres Iniesta thanks to a stunning pass accuracy of over 90% at the Camp Nou and his ability to navigate tight spaces and break the lines. But any similarities with Iniesta are over, with Puig heading permanently to the MLS at just 23. That said, playing in the US doesn't rule out a return to Europe. Diego Rossi, Ricardo Pepi and Gabriel Slonina have all earned big moves across the pond from the major league, and it's clearly growing in quality. But Puig may regret reportedly turning down exciting offers from the likes of Ajax, Granada and Celta Vigo. Regardless, it's time to prove that all that hype wasn't for nothing. 8. Marc Cucurella to Chelsea. Chelsea's swoop for Marc Cucurella isn't that weird at first glance. He's clearly good, the right age, used to possession play and versatile, with the ability to play at left back, wing back or in a back 3, the kind of Swiss Army knife the Blues wanted after seeing their defence gutted this summer. However, Cucurella's £62 million price tag turns him from a smart squad signing into a target for critics, and it's not even clear if he'd play for Chelsea's best 11, with £50 million Ben Chilwell already in his slot, while Marcos Alonso's move to Barcelona is far from set in stone. And all that uncertainty means it's hard to see what the best case is here. Is the hope that Cucurella becomes a real centre-half in the long term, or are Chelsea content benching him or Chilwell on a permanent basis? Either way, it's strange they simply didn't target a genuine centre-half, and given that someone like Sven Botman went to Newcastle for £33 million, it feels like Chelsea have overspent on a guy who isn't quite right for their needs. Chelsea fans will argue that the money doesn't matter and Cucurella strengthens the squad, all valuable points. But we'll see if they have cause for regret come May. 7. Hugo Ekitiké to PSG. When PSG wants you and you're French, you can't refuse. That was Hugo Ekitiké's reason for joining the Parisians over Newcastle United, and you can't really blame him given the world-class changing room he's walking into. But we feel Ekitike has made a mistake becoming a backup forward so early on in his career. Earning minutes at PSG as a squad player is never easy, particularly in attack where Neymar, Messi and Mbappe dominate proceedings. Just look at Mauro Icardi, who only earned 1,008 minutes in Ligue 1 last term, 63 minutes fewer than he did in 2021. Eric Choupo-Moting had no luck either during his 2 seasons with the club, largely being consigned to life on the bench. But Choupo-Moting is no star like Ekitike, who has just enjoyed a breakout campaign with Stade de Reims. Scoring 10 from just 24 appearances, he constantly bullied opposition defences, putting up 18 pressures and winning 2.1 aerial duels per 90, and looked electric on the ball, completing 2.2 dribbles per 90 as well. Still only 20, languishing on the sidelines in Paris could be a serious hurdle to building on this potential. The reality is that young French players often end up leaving, not joining PSG. Ekitike bucks that trend, but it might not be the right decision. 6. Mohamed-Ali Cho to Real Sociedad. We completely get why Real Sociedad closed a £10 million deal for Angers attacker Mohamed-Ali Cho. We just don't see what was in it for his old club or for the player. After all, that fee is just 2/3 of his value according to Transfermarkt, and it seemed the 18-year-old should have had better offers on the table, with a spell in Everton's academy qualifying him as a homegrown player in the Prem, and interest from Chelsea and Liverpool reported back in April. Sociedad, of course, are no minnows, but were lucky to finish 6th in Spain last year with a goal difference of just +3, and Cho's potential is out of this world. The youngster ended the campaign with just 5 goal involvements in Ligue 1, but he put up nearly double that in XG, while he also managed over 2 shots a match, big pressure numbers and lots of progressive passes received, basically unheard of for a teenager. But it's hard to see him immediately fitting into Sociedad's possession scheme, with a pass accuracy of 71%, lower than every Sociedad player, and just 11 passes completed per 90, which again would be the worst in the squad. And minutes may be lacking, with La Real's front line boasting quality in Isaac, Oyarzabal and Sorloth. If he can't get game time in San Sebastian, Cho's development could suffer, and that potential be swiftly forgotten. 5. Anthony Gordon to Chelsea. Everton star Anthony Gordon is yet to go anywhere, but we're struggling to understand Chelsea's eagerness to splash out over £40 million on the winger. Gordon has certainly caught the eye over the past 12 months. Fast-tracked into the starting lineup following a raft of injuries within the Toffee squad, the 21-year-old responded with 4 goals and 2 assists in the league. Not a monstrous haul, but still the 4th most goal involvements at Everton, behind Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin and Gray. However, it was his defensive contribution that really stood out. 23 pressures, 2.3 blocks and 2.4 tackles per 90 puts him among the top 5% of wingers in Europe, and Gordon's efforts prove vital in guiding Everton to safety. Perhaps these are the qualities Chelsea are looking for, but they really shouldn't be, with goals a much more pressing concern now Lukaku and Werner have both left the club. And if an attacking wingback is what Tuchel wants, then there are surely better options out there than spending £40 million on a player with just 30 Premier League starts to his name. And for Everton, losing their brightest talent after 2 straight defeats could be a catastrophic decision. 4. Matthijs de Ligt to Bayern. Okay, this one does make some sense. Bayern sign a world-class centre-back, while De Ligt gets to play under a manager who appreciates his ability to burst out of defence and dictate from deep. But from Juve's perspective, the sale couldn't have come at a worse time, and doesn't even represent a financial win, the Italians taking a £16 million loss on the £76 million they paid for the Dutchman 3 years ago. Juve scraped 4th place in Serie A last season, and while they conceded 37 goals in 38 games, they're no longer the gold standard for defence in Italy, with both Milan and Napoli allowing less XG than them across the campaign. And now their most used outfielder in De Ligt is gone, as is Chiellini, meaning that even the £36 million addition of Bremer from Torino is not enough, leaving Allegri with the Brazilian Bonucci, Gatti and Rugani as his centre-back options at the time of writing, hardly a unit which screams Scudetto winners 2022-23. More worryingly, the resurgence of Kulusevski and Bentancur after leaving the Bianconeri suggests that Allegri himself might be the problem, making sacrificing De Ligt an even more puzzling decision. Unless the old lady has a surprise up her sleeve, this seems sure to age badly. 3. Borja Mayoral to Getafe. For all the plaudits Real Madrid earned for signing Aurelien Tchouameni, they still entered the new campaign without a competent backup to Karim Benzema. In fact, they are significantly lighter in the forward line than before, with Luka Jovic now at Fiorentina and Gareth Bale lighting up LAFC. It is therefore surprising that Florentino Perez signed off on Borja Mayoral's €10 million move to Getafe. The reality is that compared to the remaining Benzema alternatives at Los Blancos in Eden Hazard and Mariano Diaz, Mayoral is much more reliable. The 25-year-old netted 6 in 18 appearances on loan at Getafe last campaign, hit double figures in Serie A with Roma less than 2 seasons ago, and enjoyed 2 decent years with Levante in La Liga before that. On the other hand, Diaz has only ever netted 6 times in 5 years at Madrid, while Hazard continues to be held back by his body. Perhaps these are the reasons Madrid accepted the moderate fee for Mayoral, with Hazard and Diaz carrying near to no value. But it is a bold decision nonetheless, and any injury to Benzema could be a fast-track to disaster for Los Merengues. 2. Conor Coady to Everton. There are few Premier League footballers as likeable as Conor Coady. Bruno Lage described the former Wolves captain as one of the best men I've met in football, while his performance have made him an England regular since 2020. With that in mind, their decision to let him join Everton on loan is baffling. Make no mistake, this is great for the Toffees. The former Liverpool Academy graduate will be guaranteed minutes at Everton in their fight against relegation, something vital to Coady in a World Cup year. This wasn't on offer at Wolves, now Nathan Collins has arrived from Burnley to partner the excellent Max Kilman in defence. But regardless, Wolves are clearly much worse off without Coady. He has appeared for them over 300 times, been their captain since 2017 and missed just one Premier League match in the past 4 years. In 2019-20 he was named in the Europa League team of the season, while even last term he topped the Wolves squad for shots blocked and ranked second for clearances. His presence will be severely missed if things start going wrong at the Molineux, and 1 point from clashes against Leeds and Fulham so far suggests that could easily happen. 1. Robert Lewandowski to Barcelona. Generally, if you can get a player as good as Robert Lewandowski, you do, but there are exceptions. After all, Lever is soon to be 34, cost Barcelona £40 million and will eat another £31 million over the life of his contract, all complicating a situation where the club has struggled to register its new signings and has once again renegotiated Gerard Piqué's salary to save some pennies. But that isn't all. Barcelona already have an elderly striker in Aubameyang, who only joined in January, while they've also re-signed Dembele and added Rafinha and Ferran Torres in the last 6 months for a combined total of around £120 million. It begs the question, did they really need Lewandowski? The club was 9th in La Liga when Xavi arrived in November and they still ended up finishing second, with the best defence and second best attack in the division by XG, while Alba chipped in 11 goals in 1100 minutes and Torres added another 8, the pair contributing over 6 shots per 90. Couldn't they have just given the coach a full season with that front line rather than handing him a new but very old toy? Barcelona may be satisfied with their financial manoeuvres, but ultimately there aren't enough levers in the world to outmatch stupidity. At some point they need to get sensible, and signing Lewandowski is the opposite. So that was our look at 10 transfers that don't make any sense. Go on, we want to hear from you in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe to Football Daily with that notification bell switched on, and we'll see you next time.